We are live, Ms. Mitchell.
Thank you, Corey. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Utility Safety and Environment Committee meeting. The first item on our agenda is the matter of the 2021 street resurfacing program. Engineer Schneider, please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I just handed out some revised numbers for street resurfacing. That was just to get some discussion started. I do have, which if you have the monitors, I'll pull it up on the screen, the same thing, because it's easier to calculate from here. So I guess to pick up from our last discussion as far as streets, I tried to, I did receive some input from from the council members as far as they wanted additional information regarding streets in their wards. So I did go and put together some additional costs. So I have it on the screen there. I don't know how you want to proceed with this, but I look to your guidance.
Thank you, Mr. Snyder. How about if we have each ward council person go through their streets, the ones they want done?
Sure.
Does that make sense? So we're going to start at the top. Mrs. Keys is joining us live by Zoom. Mrs. Keys, good evening. You're muted. There you go.
Hello, thank you. So I put together my list. The first street that really needs attention is Lexington between Taylor and Clark. Concord between Clark and Broad. Eastern Heights between Henry and Boston. Stanford between Abbey and Boston. And Cornell between Abbey and South Logan. So I'm not sure what each ward was given in terms of numbers.
I did put the top four for Councilwoman Keys in there already. It's already set up if you have your monitor on.
Yeah.
And the total of that's at 281. So okay. We're slightly above, but at the same time, I would like to have some additional streets for alternates as well. So.
Okay, thank you very much.
What I'm saying is the top four that she asked for at 281 right now is actually over the 242, but we would like, if she could, I mean, if we're going in order the way Councilwoman Keys selected, Stanford would be her alternate, and I would just proceed on in that direction right now.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to have a little bit of extra. So if you want to just wait and not make a call on that, I think what I have extra would cover that.
If that's okay with council, yes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Snyder has did a wonderful job with mine, the ones that need attention, but when it comes to the alternate, I would like to have Brace from Adams to the railroad track, or Bond from Furnace to Franklin. The only thing I'd like to ask Mr. Snyder is Bond Street, you know, it's that concrete and it's just sinking so bad in so many spots. So I don't know how we would fix it, because it seems like if I went to the blacktop, it's going to be always sinking.
Yeah, the first thing we're going to do before we resurface a road is go out there and make sure the sewers below are in good condition and that we don't have an issue. So that would be one of the first things. If those are all good condition, then typically, if it's sinking a lot, there's definitely some sort of sinkhole there. So we'll probably pothole the street maybe a few spots to see what we can see. And hopefully it's it's, the issue is kind of corrected itself the best it can, because it can happen. You know, when somebody backfills the road, that sometimes when they built the road, and who knows if they compacted it properly, they did a sewer repair through there, maybe it settled over time and now it's down, and it's actually compacted now. And then we would just, you know, fix it the best we can. But we can't dig up the whole entire road. I mean, if we did that, it would be pretty expensive. We can do patch repair if you're looking at maybe just say go out and do some concrete repair. We can add that and do some spots out there and take care of the worst, and maybe we can buy another 5 to 7 years, you know, for the road and something to that you know, situation. But I'm fine either way. I mean, the prices here in front of you are for complete, largely asphalt overlays. So we can do some spot repairs with concrete if that's the way council, you know, if we have extra funds, if that's how you would like to spend some of it. And we do have some streets out here already that are concrete that we're doing, so it's not a big deal.
Okay, so right now, so Apple Street, Beechwood from Beechwood to Shatton, and Belmont from Furnace to Bell, and High Street from Adams to Lorraine.
Good with that?
I'm good with that.
Thank you. And I was remiss, I didn't welcome Mr. Curtis. Thank you for joining us this evening. I appreciate it. If you ever want to chime in, just feel free, okay?
Thank you. I will do.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Jesse, Ward 3.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, thank you, John, for putting in Kansas from Carroll to California. My question is, all of those intersections, they're in varying degrees of needing to be done. You had specified a couple of them in your initial report, and the same thing on the other side of those streets with Defiance. So I guess my first question is, if we're doing Kansas to California, would that automatically include the intersections? I would think it would automatically include the intersections of Tennessee and Nebraska and California, because you're doing that.
Yes.
Then on the other side, on Defiance, the only other question I had, you had said that Nebraska definitely was a 1. Defiance in Nebraska, yeah, you've got that on there. But we don't have Defiance and Tennessee. I don't, you know, I haven't been there in the last couple of weeks, but I know all of those had some issues.
Then those are all concrete, I believe, aren't they?
Can't remember, sorry. But I guess if we could, when that is looked at, just taking a look at Defiance in Tennessee as well, because then that would be all 3 of those streets that intersect Kansas on one side and Defiance on the other. Yeah, no, that looks great. And then that little patch there of Sandpiper at East River, Daryl Farkas will be happy about that. That's right at his driveway. So yeah, that looks great. And then there's some extra money that could then go to another ward.
Thank you for that, Mr. Jesse. Mr. Oswald, Ward 4.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Mr. Curtis, I finally get to meet you. I've been stopping down and trying to personally say hi. I talked to you on the phone, so thanks for chiming in. It's good to see you. I know I take way too much of John's time. We've been going through my ward. I've got a lot of concrete issues. We did come to a realization that we can, like Ms. Davis, we were talking, we can go over some of our concrete with asphalt. We are going a little bit further, but that's kind of what you have to do to make it work. So he's got me down for North Pasadena, which will be from Randall to Berkshire, or Berkshire to Randall, but it's all the way around to the backside of Randall. So I thought it was just a short piece, so that's going to make the residents real happy over there. The part that was real bad was the Huntington Circle and Winthrop area. which instead of just fixing some of the concrete, we decided to just asphalt that whole thing. So that was badly needed. Another area that we are going to be doing is Hartford, which would be from Abbey to Whitman. And the problem here again, concrete, and there's no easy stopping place just to patch it with concrete. That does put me over at 255, which we're trying to allow ourselves 242. I do have concrete areas cutouts over Huntington Circle that have been badly needed. But I'm hoping that we can maybe allocate some more funds somehow or another and put a little more effort into our streets. The residents are crying for it. I don't know if we can do more stuff in-house, but I don't know.
We can certainly look at what they can do in-house, but we're given what we're given. We're given $1.7 million this year from Issue 6, and thank the residents for voting for Issue 6. And we have to divide that up evenly among the 7 wards. So that's what we're trying our best to do. So you're good with the streets that you have?
Yes.
Okay. Mrs. Simmons, Ward 5.
Okay, we talked about, Fuller, so definitely Chestnut and, 13th West to Bank. Definitely Parkview Court, that's a definite. I was just trying to add Tannery Street in, but it'll take it over, but,
If we add Tannery Street, will that take her over?
It will take her over the normal amount, but we can add it as an alternate if that's the, if
Is
that's
that okay, Mr.
council's.
Simmons, if we add it as an alternate?
yes,
If we find money somewhere?
Which, once again, I mean, these estimates are from my desk, not in the field, so there is built-in, you could say, when I say fluff, I mean, I have to assume so much needs to be done out there. So there's full depth that typically has to be done. Sometimes it's not as bad as we think. So we can save some dollars on some of that full depth if we go out there and see that's not needed. So prices could be on a little bit, maybe on the higher side, but also with the price of gas going up, I don't know at this time. So, but like I said, I prefer to have upwards of $150,000 for contingency in there, at least 10%. But so if that's what you want to put in for an alternate, I think that's great.
yes.
Thank you, Mrs. Simmons. Mr. Curtis, so the question was raised, what can we do in-house? Is there any of the patchwork that you guys can do that maybe will save a little bit of money?
Yeah, I would definitely look into some of these streets to see what we can do in-house. I already had
Okay.
Hamilton Circle on the list, so I'll add that, and feel free to let me know what other ones you want me to check out.
Okay, all right, thank you. Mr. Sarah?
Through you, Madam Chair. So back to Preston. We had talked about Wilder off of Georgetown. I think you took a look at that.
I did.
And you said it was outside of our scope. Is there anything that we can do as council, equipment-wise or something like that going forward to make that happen, or is it just not realistic?
Not so much realistic, because the difference in what the resurfacing and what we do, we don't have a paver. So that makes it a little more for us to actually get it nice and smooth, because we're all doing it by hand. So that's the difference, and the width and the length becomes troublesome by doing it that way.
Understood.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis and Mr. Sarah. Mr. Sarah, you can go ahead with your Ward 7.
Okay, I think I'd like to do Hollywood, Hawthorne, Howard, and Artemis to start out. That's right at 245, I believe.
Could you say those once again, please?
That would be Hollywood, Hawthorne, Howard, and Artemis.
Good numbers.
And then I'll take any alternate that we can afford to do.
Thank you, Mr. Sear. That's pretty good. So for Ward 6, I'd like to do Cortland and Demas, the intersection, Fowle Road, West Ridge to the Fowle Road curve, Mussey from the railroad tracks to the bridge, and the intersection of Cortland and Penfield. And I'm under, so whatever another ward you need, John, you can use that as well.
Okay. Just look at the totals down here. Right now, it adds up to only 1.6.
Oh, we have money, come on.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
just for the sake of discussion, just keep in mind, I don't think this will change your mind in regards to Fowle Road.
Yes,
But we
the
have
new
that very
houses.
large housing development,
Yes.
which means there's a lot of trucks, so.
Yes. You're right. That, because there's a new development going in right off of Fowle Road, that's right. Maybe we can push that off until, it's pretty bad over there, though.
It is, through you, Madam Chair, it is, you're obviously aware of that, but, you know, if we put that much time, effort into it.
Sure.
the
We're just
trucks
gonna
may
have to do
tear
it again.
Yes.
Understood. Mr. Snyder, we had discussed doing Old Fowle Road?
Yeah, we have a contractor already lined up to do that. We're just going to go out there and, what he's gonna do is, the street department, with my office, we went out there and we put asphalt grindings down in those big holes and craters, things that were out there, kind of leveled it off a little bit. They're gonna come in there with a mill and basically mill the whole surface, grind it all up and relay it at the same time, compact it, and then they're gonna do what's called a chip and seal. And
Okay.
typically what you see in the townships, they put a thick layer of tar down, then they put gravel on top of it, then they roll it. Then they're gonna put another layer of tar down, and then they come back and put another layer of gravel on top of it, roll it. And it's a country style road, and which is what that is out there right now. I mean, it's not improved. We didn't want to put a bunch of money into it. But it's only gonna cost us, I believe, around $25,000 to do all that. But it's gonna make a world of difference as far as what the road looks like and how it drives.
Absolutely. Considering what Mr. Brubaker reminded me of, that they're doing, that housing development, is it worth doing Old Fowle Road, or not Old Fowle Road, Fowle Road, or should we wait until they're done with that housing? I'm thinking we should wait.
I mean, they are gonna bring in loads of wood. There's no question there.
And they're still building
they're-
houses in the new development as well.
To you, Madam Chair, no, they're done, pretty much done back there.
Okay,
It's just cleanup work.
okay.
But yeah, I mean, they are gonna drive some concrete trucks obviously up in there. They're going to drive, wood deliveries and other type of deliveries. Trucks will be going in there. The first phase does not include the connection over to 113. I believe that's gonna be in phase 2, which,
Are they gonna put an exit from the development to 113? That seems kind of dangerous.
yes, it's part of, it's the overall will connect, 113, it'll connect on Potomac and it'll connect over to Fowle Road.
Okay.
So there'll be 3 ways in and out of the new development, but obviously over the phases in time, they won't all be constructed at the same time, so, but,
And we have no idea what the timeline for them finishing that is.
well, they're moving right now with the underground work out there.
I know.
I believe they plan on starting building houses before we probably even start resurfacing, but, you know, once again, you're gonna have concrete trucks still going in there pouring driveways and sidewalks. You're going to have the wood delivery trucks. If you wanna wait, that's fine.
Let's wait and see how that one rolls.
Yeah, and we could always bid it out later, or, you know,
Okay.
it's not a big deal.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Snyder. Everybody's good with their streets and what they've got, and we're happy. Mrs. Davis?
Through you, Madam Chair, I want to speak to Mr. Preston. Curtis, about, Bond Street from Furnace to Franklin, because now they have somebody been working out there now, and they got cones all out there in the middle of the street. So do you know anything about that, Mr. Preston, or what's going on over on Bond?
I thought I
Off of
overheard
Furnace?
there was a water sewer going in there or some sort. I was just over there today and I seen a lot of markings and flags on the road. So I'm not 100% sure. Maybe John's aware of it.
I know that as part of that lead service line that the water distribution's doing, I know they're in that area. I know they're on Foster. I didn't know if they were on Bond though.
But they got some flags all up and down Bond also.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know all the areas they're working in at this time, but I do know they're on Foster. I know they're in that area vicinity. And I can find out and.
In saying that, Mr. Snyder, when they finish with Foster, the way they running those across, who's gonna pave that? Who's responsible for paving that back?
The restoration of the pavement will be part of that contractor's responsibility. Right now, he's probably just getting all the services in first. Then he's gonna come back and start pulling the gravel out and putting the concrete and the asphalt down. That's typically how it's completed. Unless it's a concrete road, then you just go concrete.
Okay. But I'm sure that's, through you, Madam Chair, that's the same thing that's gonna happen over there on Bond, because they already have the flags and stuff down, like where they're gonna be working. So then they're gonna be digging up the street somewhat, so maybe they can work that in and fix that street and not have to worry about it.
Right.
We're gonna have to watch.
Yeah, I don't know the overall scope of that. I'm not involved in that project.
Okay.
I can reach out to the water distribution and find out more information if you'd
okay.
like.
What about, Garvin at Jackson? Remember that lady called and she
Yes,
said?
I went over there, but I didn't see what she was talking about.
Okay, then don't worry about it. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, so thank you, Engineer Schneider. Thank you, Mr. Curtis, very much for joining us. You're welcome at our meetings anytime. So I appreciate you. Thank you. Ms. Keys, you have your hand up? You're just scratching your hand. Okay. Any other questions as we move forward with the streets?
I do have one more question because as of right now, we still are below the 1.7.
Oh, we need to spend money.
So-
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I just want to make sure I have enough streets here, and I'm fine with, you know,
I'm good at spending money.
and that still includes Fowle Road as of right now, which is 90,000. So
Let's leave Fowle Road in
I'll hold
and see
it.
how that
I'll hold
shakes
it.
out.
Well, you really want to.
Let's leave Fowle Road in. So we have what, about 90,000 still to spend?
Go back down to 7.
I would like, yeah, like I said, I would like to get like about 100. If we go up to about 1.85, like I said, it'll make it easier for me when I bid it out to have multiple alternate routes or alternate streets so that when we bid it out, we can select what's best to fill the 1.7.
Okay. Speak now, people. Forever hold your peace. Mr. Oswald.
Speak now. She wants to talk.
I'll speak, yeah.
Oh, you
well,
will?
I've got a space on here over on Hemlock and into the cul-de-sac that's about 71,000. I'd love to be able to do that too. I know that takes up a big chunk of the balance, but.
Yeah, it's a big chunk.
Okay.
We'll keep that in the back of our mind. Mr. Sarah had his hand up first,
go
Mr.
ahead.
Simmons. Mr. Sarah?
We could put Howard Street in there and Bon Air. It's not gonna eat up too much.
Howard Street is already on your list.
Or Bon Air, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was the next lowest one.
You said Bonnier?
Yes.
That's only 16,000. That's doable. Mrs. Simmons?
Through you, Madam Chair, I really, really would like Tannery Street done, if there is any way.
I think we can make that happen. Tannery Street?
Yes.
Mrs. Keys?
Through you, Madam Chair, if there is, can you scroll up to the first ward, Mr. Schneider? Thank you. Cornell between Abbey and South Logan. Oh, that's a big one. That's expensive.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I guess the other one,
Barely over there.
pardon me?
What did you,
That's, my math is wrong here. Let's make sure I have it all right. Still barely over the amount council has approved so far,
okay.
so.
We'll leave it in for right now. We'll leave it in, Mrs. Keys, for right now.
Thank you.
Okay, Mrs. Davis.
For a look from Brace, on Brace Avenue, Adams to the railroad track, that's a number one also. So if we find some money, let that be my alternate if it happens. It's 51-6.
I wouldn't mind a little bit more, just to be on the safe side.
One more?
Yeah.
Did he put mine in? Excuse me?
Yes.
No, all of his are getting done.
Through, Madam Chair, through to Mr. Schneider, how much more are you looking at, Mr. Schneider?
So I'd like to get to 1.85, at least with all the alternates. I'm highlighting the ones for the alternates so I know which ones they are. So I'll base bid the other ones and then see which other ones I can throw in there as well.
Put Ohio Street on there if you want. That'll put you up to the 1.8.
That's an expensive one, Mr. Sarah.
If it helps, you can take Bon Air off if it's gonna be that close. You need to get down to exactly 1.8?
No, I just wanted to make sure I had enough to, if we get good prices, we're doing more. That's all I want to make sure.
Mr. Oswald.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Well, if you can't do that, can you allocate some money for some concrete work then over on Hamilton Circle? You know, out of that budget, can you just say like, okay, I get $30,000 towards concrete work, and that would help to cut that? Like I said, that's an area I don't believe that we can pave. And then, you know, maybe I can wait off on Hemlock, but I don't know if that's something that Mr. Curtis can do in-house, that much concrete work. It's basically pull out some maybe 16 by 16 areas
We
and
don't do
concrete it.
concrete work, do we?
Yeah, we can, if that's what council wants to do, yes, we could always do, just give me a number, I'll put it in there as a placeholder and do what concrete repairs we can do in that area. That's fine. I mean,
Well, I'd love to do that.
we're gonna have concrete repairs going on anyways with some of the other streets that we have, so, if that's what council wants to do.
Are we good, Mr. Snyder?
I'm fine with that number. I mean, and if I can do more, I'll try to do more, but.
Everybody's good with their list? Okay. Do you need me to go through the list, or you?
No, we'll get it,
Okay,
updated from.
okay, okay.
Yep.
Great, so the 2020 street list is set. Mr. Schneider will let us know about alternates. So we can, I have to do the committee report. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I got all excited. We have considered the matter of the 2021 street resurfacing project. And this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract. Emergency clause, seasonal construction time constraints. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
I gave you the second one.
Yep, motion carried.
You might as well hold it.
The next, thank you, John, so much. Thank you, Mr. Curtis, very much.
Have a good night.
The next item on the agenda is the matter of the 2021 emergency sanitary and storm sewer repair contract. Engineer Schneider.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Every year we go out and practically every year we go out and do the emergency sanitary storm sewer repair contract. Essentially, we go out there looking for bad areas and fixing them. I will say, since that, issue 6 has passed, we find it more frequently that we're here because we're out there making sure we're checking all these streets a little more thorough and find a lot more issues. So don't be surprised if we're back by the end of the year because of the amount of streets that we're doing. But this is an emergency repair contract that when we go out there, they're basically small little fixes out there. You go down, you find there's a broken piece of pipe, and we have a contractor dig it up, and he spools in a 6-foot piece, and before we resurface the road, and that's how one of the ways we prevent the road from falling apart. So it's a program we've done for years and years, and we just want to move along and get this bid out as soon as possible so that we can, now that we have the list, the wastewater crew is going to be out there looking at all these streets and get started on a lot of these repairs.
Awesome. Mrs. Davis?
Through you, Madam Chair, with the CARES Act money that's coming, isn't this supposed to be for infrastructure and things like this for emergency?
It's for infrastructure, but not really like this, per se. It would be maybe, what we're hoping to use it for is our wet weather program, if we can. Those are some of the projects we're looking to try to do. If it falls within the qualifications of the infrastructure bill. We haven't seen the actual language on it yet, but we'd like to take care of, the next phase of that east side relief sewers, $9-10 million. So if we could get some of that taken care of, it would just help our rates in the future. It's not going to stop the rates, or anything like that, but every little bit helps that we can get. Even the simple things like when we use block grant funds to help with some of the sewer issues we have, that in turn can help. It's not, maybe not a lot, but it helps with our overall rate. So, but yes, this wouldn't be for that type of funding.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Davis. Are there any other questions for Engineer Schneider? If not, I'll read the committee report. We have considered the matter of the 2021 Emergency Sanitary and Storm Sewer Repair Contract. Monies have been appropriated. And this is an ordinance authorizing the mayor to advertise for bids and enter into a contract for the 2021 Emergency Sanitary and Storm Sewer Repair Contract. Emergency clause due to construction season time constraints. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Before there's nothing else to come before this committee, but before we end the meeting, I just want to say thank you all very much for your diligence in getting your streets. Because this, as I said numerous times before, as ward council people, this is the most important thing that we do, is getting our residents' streets done. So thank you very much for that, and thank you to the residents for voting for issue 6, because without issue 6, we could not do what we're doing. So we really appreciate it. Thank you, issue 6. Thank you, Mr. Schneider and your team for all your hard work. We truly appreciate it. Thank you to Mr. Curtis, and he's gone, but thank you to him. And so there's nothing else to come before this committee. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved, Madam Chair.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
All right.